Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Haruel. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor camp here in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video on sincerity and in truth, and Lord willing to keep you edifying. And I just pulled this article from the Today Show, all right, which, everybody should have at least heard about this, if you're on the internet. And I'm going to read through this article, all right, because this is a health concern, all right, but I'm going to hit the point home that, all right, this is proof that we're under the rulership of the wicked, all right. And actually, I'm going to start off with this scripture, Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right. And that's in a broad sense of things. A brother had sent a video in the chat, about this what appeared to be an Edomite chick whose mother, used to own this house somewhere in Georgia. And basically the power company of the state, Georgia Power, is making them sell the shit so that they could, use that land to help power these data centers they're throwing up, man. And even the news was reporting on it and shit, and nobody could do anything to stop it. They had a representative from the power company like, we hear you, and but basically they're saying you still got to sell your shit, and that's the spirit that this devil has been in since he came into rulership. He believes that everything belongs to him. You really don't own anything in this world. All right. And it used to just be Jake. All right. But now it's affecting these other nations. OK, now it's more about the resources. If you don't have if you're not one of them, if you're not wealthy, all right, they don't give a shit about you. All right. So now you have this parasite that's causing explosive diarrhea, man. All right, shitting everywhere. Let's read into this from the today.com. It says, as cases of diarrhea parasite cyclospora rise across the U.S., is it safe to eat fresh produce? That the title of this video alone, just shows you how dystopian this place truly is. Okay, of all the processed foods, of all the bullshit that they feed you in America, here in particular, this particular parasite is being found apparently in fresh produce. Now, would you have this issue if things were more localized? Would you have this issue if people were growing their own fruits that were in season, growing their own vegetables and bartering and trading them? No. Not a nationwide spread this fast. You could have little shit going on in pockets and stuff, but the fact that this is now a national concern, all right, and this all points back to capitalism, all right, because ultimately the same the companies that control all the food, and now you got like Cisco and U.S. Foods and stuff like that, and I've worked in restaurants for years, and they've taken over. A lot of the produce will come from Cisco or U.S. Foods. And, even if you have local, produce companies and whatnot, for the most part, they're still all controlled in some way or another by a government oversight, whether it's the FDA or whoever, all for the name of what? Profit and control. So now you can't even eat. They're telling you to avoid fresh fruits and vegetables, which they've cultivated, for mass production. They've removed the seeds from fruits and vegetables and shit. All right, it's lost its nutritional value. It's lost its original colors. All right, it's been replaced with artificial colors. It's been replaced and pumped with shit to give it longer shelf life, all for the what? Sake of profit. That's the nature of America, man. That's the nature of this world. The very thing that the Lord put on the earth, created for you to live and for it to benefit you, E-sau has turned it into something to profit off of. Same thing with water, Same thing with housing. And now it's become a snare onto you. Now you got to avoid produce. So let's get into it. About 5,000 cases of psoriasis have been reported in more than half of U.S. states. Here's what we know about what foods may be driving the surge. In recent weeks, headlines about explosive diarrhea parasite have been seemingly everywhere, causing widespread concern. Cyclosporiasis typically spreads through contaminated food and has been sickening thousands across the United States. The intestinal infection, and the Lord said he was going to send pestilences upon this place, plagues and pestilences. This definitely counts as a plague and pestilence. And it's coming by way of the fruits and vegetables, man. That, nobody's out here really growing fruits and vegetables. I remember my grandfather, had a little farm. Not a farm, but, he had a garden. He'd grow squash. He'd grow turnip greens. He'd grow watermelon, cantaloupe, So I can say I've actually been able to eat, real fruits and real vegetables and such. We can't say this shit that we're eating is real, man. This guy's the devil, man. It says the intestinal infection caused by cyclospora parasite isn't new and usually ramps up in the summer. However, multiple states are seeing large clusters of cases at numbers higher than expected for this time of the year, especially Michigan, where over half of U.S. cases have been reported per NBC News' latest tally. The very quick uptick in high numbers of cases, I would say, is unusual. Callie Nile, PhD, professor of microbial food safety at the University of Delaware, tells Today.com. The parasite spreads to people through contaminated food or water, and past outbreaks have been linked to raw produce. So what's driving the latest spike? And is it safe to enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables this summer? Health officials are still investigating a potential source or sources. In a statement released on Monday, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services said early results point to lettuce or salad greens as a potential culprit in the state's outbreak, but that is still couldn't rule out other foods completely. It's currently unclear if the outbreak is different in different states are connected. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention previously told NBC News. It says, what is the diarrhea parasite going around? Cyclosporiasis is caused by Cyclospora and they got all these big ass names, forgive me. It says a microscopic parasite carried in human feces. People become infected by consuming food or water contaminated with particles of feces from an infected person. And that means somebody's not handling the produce correctly. Somebody's not properly washing their hands. And the reason it's spread across multiple states is because, they're saying Taco Bell and fast food joints, they're all getting their shit from the same spot. And you got these fast food joints everywhere in America. All right, this is the American corporate rot, all right, causing this health concern, man. Again, the Lord is sanctioning it. Prophecy did say that there would be pestilences. The Lord was, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. All right, so hey, you people about to get what you got coming. All right, but nonetheless, all right, this is a symptom, and a direct result of capitalism in America. All right, pushing profit over health. Even when they push for health, man, they're lying. Okay, this devil doesn't do good for the sake of good. He wants total control. So I just wanted to give a little information on that. But let's get some more scriptures. Let's get Isaiah chapter 24, and we bring this out often. All right, but it reigns true. Isaiah chapter 24, in verse 4, it says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay? You got to take all these different vitamins and pills and shit just to get your daily nutritional value when it's supposed to be found in the food that you eat. Verse 5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. All right, and it's not just everybody, like they try to say, oh, human. No, it's those that have the power. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? E-sau, Edom, the so-called white man. He is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. All right? That's him. It's this guy. All right? He is that wicked that the Bible speaks of. So the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws. All right? They don't honor a land Sabbath. Again, they do everything in the name of a profit. You know, their bottom line. How can we maximize profit and fuck everybody else over? That's their mindset. I've witnessed it. It says, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And that's why the ultimate judgment for America will be thermonuclear destruction. Okay? You can't build upon this place. E-sau has fucked up this place so bad. All right? From a moral standpoint, from defiling the land, because blood defiles the land when you shed the blood of the children of Israel. All of these things. That's where you fucked up. All right? And the Lord allowed you to get your 250 off. And look what he's been doing since. You know, the war is back on. You got people dealing with explosive diarrhea. You got people losing their jobs. You got AI taking over. AI putting chemicals, the data centers and shit, putting chemicals all in the water and shit. Why? Because they're trying to do this ultimate push for their NWO, and they need these data centers for that ultimate surveillance. You know, which is it's gonna fulfill prophecy. All right, but for you people that thought that America was the end all be all, you're finding out very quickly that it wasn't, man. All these different videos brothers share, you know, that we see on the internet, TikTok, YouTube, about people struggling to survive, struggling to make it. Hell, we've been struggling. You know, when the Lord woke us up to this truth, man, we saw the blinders were fully off. You know, and we saw how fucked up this place really was, and we departed from it spiritually. But see, you people are so distraught because you don't know what comes next. You just see like, damn, this is a fucked up situation. But you're not considering the latter end. The latter end is nuclear destruction. All right, it's only going to get worse. There is no better. There's not a president you can put in this place. All right, there's not a reform system, you know, to fix the rot within this place. It has to be burned. Verse 7, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth. Yeah, the vine. What grows on vines? Fruits. You know, grapes mostly. All right, but you can attribute that to your produce. It says the vine languisheth. Your agriculture, your produce. All right, who knows how they're growing it now? You know, Monsanto, which is a very large company, you know, puts all type of pesticides and shit that can cause cancers and cause people to get sick. All right, but they're saying this one in particular, this diarrhea parasite, you know, that just comes, and that can be when you if you get a stomach bug after eating some shit, it's because it's come in contact with feces, with shit. Somebody's not washing their hands correctly, and that bacteria is being passed from the person to the food to you, and it's making you sick, man. So this is happening in multiple states. It says all the merry-hearted do sigh. Yeah, those that were, you know, celebrating and shit. You know, everybody's worried about different sports and all this and vacation and the next holiday coming up. Eventually, those things aren't going to be able to distract you from the fact that we're in a shitty-ass position right now. Verse 8, the mirth of the tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. Right, the joy of the harp, the music. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. All right, hey, the alcohol is all fucked up. You know, all the different ingredients E-sau puts in everything for the sake of profit, artificial flavoring. And they had John F. Kennedy Jr. or whatever, or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yeah, one of them juniors. I think it's Robert F. Kennedy. The brother's son or something. You know, he's supposed to be tackling, you know, nutrition and getting rid of all these dyes and shit. But why were the dyes allowed to be here in the first place, man? Nobody wants to ask that question. Why? Because the wicked is in authority. These devils have fucked up everything. Everything. Like Cat Williams said, everything. They fucked up everything. They fucked up the food. They fucked up the water. They fucked up the way of life. They fucked up the family, the nucleus family. They've done it all. Everything you can fuck up, E-sau has done it. And guess what? Now it's hitting him. All right, that damn song, not to get off topic, but it all ties in. That song, that Spin That Shit by Young Miami, you know, everybody know that song now. They've been pushing the hell out of it. Your daughters are singing that song now, E-sau. This was only supposed to be for Jake. Your daughters are singing this and dancing to the song. They're being programmed how you wanted our children to be programmed. So it's become a snare unto you now. Verse 10. It says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There's a crying for wine in the streets. Salakia. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. It's over with, man. You had a nice run. But this shit does not sustain itself, man. And the city is left desolation and the gate is smitten with destruction. This whole diarrhea parasite shit, that's a microcosm of the state of America, man. America's turned to shit quickly. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Radash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.